I'm ready.
Oh, shoot. I started recording when you said deep breath. That's okay.
Still holding.
Breathe out, Dylan. Breathe out. Ooh, that's kind of ASMR-ish. I like it.
This is ASMR Byte Me podcast.
Let's never do that.
And you listen.
It's gonna be great. I guess once again we do not have. Let me take one further step back. Welcome to Byte Me podcast episode
116.
116. I am Cliff Johnson.
The
Dylan's here. Again,
as
we are
always,
missing the Adam.
Adam is missing.
Yeah, it's been like the Cliff and Dylan show for a couple weeks, but then next week it's going to be the Adam and Dylan show because I won't be here.
Yeah.
So, but Kate's here.
Yeah, I may as well say something now.
Dylan and I have been snowed in at our respective homes for ever. I don't remember what the outside's like.
I today asked the question, is it Tuesday?
Yeah,
yes, it was in fact Tuesday, but I really was unsure.
The only thing that's been keeping me going is that I know I go on vacation on Thursday. So we're just like, I'm pushing forward. And if someday I don't go to work and instead drive to Portland, I'm going to assume I'm on vacation. But man,
at least you'll be able to drive there now.
Yeah, it's the weather in Seattle. I hear it's making national news, so my assumption is you may have heard about it if you watch things like the news. Yeah. But we got what for us is an unprecedented amount of snow, which
the most in a long time.
Yeah, normally we get about 3/4 of an inch of snow in February, and in the span of like 3 days, we got probably 10 inches. I'm going to say 10 or 12 inches.
We're probably, I would say, between 10 and 12 inches.
Yeah, which is enough to literally just shut down the entire city. Yeah. Like my kid hasn't gone to school in the last 8 days. He'll have gone to school for 2 of them. Yeah. Dylan and I have been to work one of like the last 8 or 2 of the last
1.5 days, I think.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane.
I pulled multiple cars out of ditches in front of my house.
I've not had to do that yet.
So I live on a hill. Yeah, it is a dastardly hill full of ice.
It's a dastardly hill when it's not full of ice. Exactly. So I can see why people are getting stuck in that hill. The neighborhoods are still like my neighborhood still has 6 inches of like slushy, nasty snow on the roads.
I've never seen so much slush piled up. Like
it's nuts. It's gross. It's awful to go out in. And like all my neighbors suck. None of them like shovel their sidewalks. Like going to get my mail is just like disgusting and gross. But I got a Byte Me hoodie in my mail today though. Ooh. Which is pretty cool. Yeah. So that was fun. Just in time to wear it to Walt Disney World. So I'm going to represent while we're there. Anyway, yeah, like we're saying, Adam's not here. He went to Palm Springs and then got sick.
To a pile of snow in his house.
He didn't have power either. He not only returned to a pile of snow, he returned to no power and like 33 degrees. So it's probably real chilly at his house too. Yeah. So anyway, he'll be back next week. I'll be in Disney World. So I guess if you're in Disney World next week and you want to come say, hey, that's where I'll be. Should we do some games we've been playing?
Yes, I really didn't play much. I've been snowed in and just
you've been stuck in a house. What else do you have to do, man?
Watch TV. My friend's crashing here, like because he's living with his grandparents at the tippy top of the tallest tower. Of like, it's a road I wouldn't like to drive in the dark. In like dark, dry weather. Sure. So when it's covered in, and apparently they still have pretty bad snow up there because it's just a little higher and it's not going away. Man. So this at least gives him the option to maybe go to work.
I don't know. I just hear you could have been playing co-op games.
There was a lot of Dragon Ball Z. Watched like 76 episodes so far. So
wow.
Yeah, exactly. And
how is it?
It's good. Yeah. It's such a soap opera because you watch an episode and you're like, I can't stop. I got to keep, it keeps you really engaged in it. And the episodes are like 16 minutes after the 3.5 minute intro plus recap and then 1.5 minutes of credits. So 6 minutes of the 22 minutes is actually stuff you don't need to watch.
Wow, that's crazy.
Incredible. So you can knock out 4 in an hour. So pretty efficient.
I watched a lot of TV too. Actually, I watched the Fire documentary, the Fire Festival doc on Netflix, which is real good. We both watched. Have you seen it yet? Have you
watched it? I forgot to text you because it's just absurd.
I'm trying to remember the name. Abducted in Plain Sight. If you have not seen that, it is literally a true documentary about a girl who gets kidnapped by the same guy twice.
And aliens. That's the twist. I spoiled it, but it's you have to watch it.
It's insane. Go watch it. It's on Netflix. I watched what's it called? Russian Doll too. Oh, yeah? Russian Dolls. Is that what I want to say?
I think it's similar,
it's good. It's on Netflix as well. Yeah. It's like a kind of a creepy Groundhog's Day story. Yeah. It's good.
We watched Gerald's Game as well, the Netflix version of the Stephen King novel, and it was.
I did not know it was good.
It was good.
Sure.
It's very much set in one location, and I think due to that and the very limited nature of the story, essentially a couple is going to spice up their love life, and the husband dies while she's handcuffed to the bed. And so as you can see, the story is very limited in what's going on. So it's very much a one-person show, which the performance is good. It's just the nature of the movie creates a kind of strange pacing. It's very fast, which is probably best because you don't want that movie to drag on for sure. But I think it also it lacks the tension in certain ways because it's just moving along too quickly.
Interesting. I read the book. I didn't realize there was a Netflix adaptation of it.
2017, I think.
I'll have to check it out. I really like the book. I'm a big Stephen King fan though. So I actually did play some video games. Good. Let's see. I'm trying to remember last time we talked. I don't know. I beat Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice. I can't remember if I talked about that last time. We actually recorded the Byte Me DLC Plays podcast of it this weekend. Colby and I did. So that is out now for folks who are patrons and will be out next Monday. So Monday, the 18th for people that are not patrons. So watch out for that. We managed to talk for almost 2 hours about an 8-hour game. So I don't know what exactly that says, but we did. So it's a hard game to like. I want to say, hey, it was a great game and we had fun, but that's not exactly the long and short of it. But I think we both really enjoyed it. We just we had thoughts. So listen, check out the podcast. There's no reason for me to talk more about Hellblade right now. So check that out. I played Apex Legends.
Yeah.
With
I downloaded
Colby
it twice. I just haven't played it yet.
That's almost like playing it. It's really good. Like it's to me probably the perfect battle royale game. It's like we said, it's a little bit more serious than Fortnite, but a little less serious than PUBG. It plays really well. I like the trio teams. I like the 3 people in the team, not 4. I mean, first of all, because I think it's a little easier to find 3 people
is it always 3-player teams.
Yeah, and it'll autofill a 3rd person if you only have 2 or if you only have 1. It does some really cool things, though. And the first of those things is that you can, if a player dies, so let's say the bad guy shoots you and then kills you. You can walk around, you can do that kind of bleeding out kind of thing. But if you actually get killed, you leave behind like a little transmittery thing, and people in your team can pick that up and go to like regeneration site, and you'll actually pop back in, which is cool. And if you're not playing with friends, it has this really cool, even if you're playing with friends, actually, it has this really cool like marking capability. So I think it's the right button. And so if you want to go like, hey, there's the bad guy, and they're like, where? You can actually go like, hey, he's right there, and like click and point, and it'll put a mark where people can see, hey, he's right there. Or you can say, hey, there's ammo here, or hey, there's a health pack here. But if you're not playing with people via headset, it actually will have your character say that. So you can go like, bad guy over there, or hey, let's all converge here, or hey, there's a health pack here, and it'll actually talk in a way that you don't actually have to voice chat with strangers if you don't want to, which is a really, really, really cool system. We did not play a ton. We wanted to go play. Actually, I've played a fourth game. We wanted to go play a different game. So we only played maybe, I'm going to say 3 or 4 rounds, but that's more than any other game I've played in a while. So, that's nothing to sneeze at. It was fun though. I would definitely play it again. It's 100% free. So go grab it if you haven't. I played another couple of levels of Strange Brigade, that co-op zombie game that's on Game Pass.
That too, to give that a try because it sounded fun.
It was fun, yeah. So I actually played it 4-player with me, my kid, my brother, and Kevin. And it's really fun 4-player. It's kind of goofy, and it's oddly challenging on like the standard difficulty. Like you'll get killed a lot. The bad guys are just really, really spongy and kind of a like almost negative way. Like not enough to make you like, I don't want to play that game anymore, but enough to go like, oh my God, why won't this guy die kind of way. So, again, it's totally worth playing. It's totally free. Get a couple of buddies and play it. That's what I would recommend, is play it at least co-op. But it's, I think, probably even better with 3 or 4 people, but it's free. So do that. I guess if you have Game Pass. And I also played the Division 2 beta. Again, not for super long because I didn't have anyone else to play it with. The beta ran, I want to say, through the 11th. And I got the beta invite like the morning of the 9th. So it was really weird. I think it ran the 7th through the 11th, and they invited me to the beta literally the day before it ended, I want to say. So I didn't have a lot of time. I didn't know anyone else in it, but I loaded it up just long enough to kind of feel out what it is. And 100%, if you liked the Division 1, you'll like the Division 2, because if you had told me I was playing the Division 2 or Division 1, it just had a different setting, I'd go, okay, that makes sense, because it feels absolutely identical to it. The bad guys are kind of spongy. The guns feel good. It's beautiful to look at, but man, I'm sure there are differences. I guarantee you there are differences, but man, I sure could not tell you what they are. The other game I started playing about 2 hours in is The Walking Dead Season 1, which is a Game Pass game, but it is also our March Byte Me DLC plays game. So grab The Walking Dead Season 1 off Game Pass, or it's, I think, $15 on the Xbox and the PlayStation 4. It's $25 on the Switch. I think it's like $12 on the PC. You can actually buy it mobile too. It's on iOS for like $20. So if you want to play that along with us and talk, you can come join us in the Discord, talk about it, and then we'll do a podcast about it probably like middle of next month. I'm thinking we'll probably record like the 15th-ish. So you can see how The Walking Dead comes along. So far, it sure plays like a game that came out in 2006.
Yeah. Even at 2006, the controls weren't. They work because of the nature of what the game is. You're not doing a whole lot of things, so they probably could have been a little smoother, but
it's the controls are not great. The camera's not great. The story is kind of overwritten and overacted, but whatever. I think the best notes so far. So I'm playing with my brother Colby, because we're going to do the podcast together, obviously. And his notes for Ducky, which is Duck, I think his name's Duck, who's one of the kids in it, one of the original characters. He's like, this is Duck. I shouldn't have chosen to save his life because he's so obnoxious.
Right.
Like, should have let him get eaten by zombies. Unfortunately, it's not an option. So, but we'll see. I got like 8 hours left of it. We'll see if I can make it another 8 hours. It's a game where I might play the first couple episodes and call it good, because it's not grabbing me very tight. So we'll see. Anywho, we have a ton of this, Dylan. So why don't you with the big breath news?
I felt like I was going to sneeze for a second.
Love it. All right. So probably the worst news of the day. I think everyone kind of saw this coming. Activision this leaked, I guess, last Friday. I mean, which I can't imagine what it would be like to have the fact that your company was going to do seriously large amounts of layoffs on Friday and then have to like exist all weekend and then them not to happen Monday.
Yeah.
Like I just can't imagine what that would be like. I have a couple of friends that work at Activision-Blizzard, and they were just panicky, you know. They both made it through the layoffs, but so Activision laid off 775 people.
It's a lot. It's a lot of people.
After posting record results in 2018 and just giving their new CFO $15 million bonus. So wow, it's about 8% of their workforce. Apparently it's mostly in non-development areas. So
publishing, mobile.
So they apparently shut down an entire studio that was here. I've never heard of it, but Z2 Live was a mobile game studio. A lot of publishing folk, a lot of support folk. It's not actual developers. And it's hard to say what causes it. I think they kind of want to focus on some other stuff. I think part of it is they just don't have anything huge coming out this year either. So, it's really hard. And it's, they're giving them good severance. Career placement. Whatever. But man, it's hard to hear stories of both developers and non-developers, giving everything they can to a company like this and then being laid off just because they aren't bringing out enough games in 2019. So, hopefully they'll all make it. But man, 775 people is a lot. That's a huge amount of employees. Like, that's a bunch of people going, trying to find jobs. So best of luck to all of them. And I guess we'll see how it goes.
I didn't realize Candy Crush was under the Blizzard Activision umbrella.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
They literally have every monstrosity in the form of like.
Yeah. So I guess we'll see. I guess in slightly happier news, Apex Legends has hit the 25 million total player mark, which that's a lot of players in like, what, a week?
Yeah.
They're well over 1 million concurrents. That's a lot. That's an absolute lot. Yeah. So good on them. They announced that they're going to have like starting at the end of this week, I want to say. I think there's going to be a Valentine's event that starts this week, actually. And that's actually going to kick off the first season. They're also doing the Twitch Rivals Apex Legend Challenge, which starts actually, I think, today and runs through the 19th with a bunch of Twitch streamers competing. There's Valentine's Day loot that will be available for a limited time. And then March 1st will ring in the first of season 1. They also released their kind of roadmap for the next year. They're going to do, I think, 4 seasons this year. They're going to have a battle pass just like Fortnite does. So they're going to do 4, 1 in March, 1 in June, 1 in September, and 1 in December. New playable characters, weapons, loot, all sorts of stuff. Battle pass, very much like Fortnite. So I don't think we're going to see any huge surprises out of Apex. I think it'll be more what we've seen of them so far, small incremental changes that, kind of push their game forward and differentiate it a little bit from Fortnite and PUBG. But who knows? Maybe they'll do something really big and really cool. I just like more that I think it's a battle royale game that I care about. Yeah. So
hopefully the player base sticks around and, because I believe in this game and I haven't even played it yet. It looks neat. So
I kind of wonder if, the one thing that this could do, and who knows, it's still so early, is that this very easily, I think, could erode PUBG's kind of space, because I don't think Apex is going to take away from Fortnite. I think that the Fortnite player base skews a lot younger than you probably think it does. Like I think it's very much that like 12
kids who dance at elementary schools,
right? Yeah,
on the playground.
12 to 22-year-olds. I think it probably skews, and I wonder if Apex will skew a little bit older, which is where PUBG used to live. So we'll see.
I'm interested though, because I think there is a demographic of people that play PUBG that are in it for like the survival realism to it. And I don't know if it seems like in a kind of almost elitist attitude towards the battle royale genre and what it means. Quotations all over the place.
That's true.
But yes, I think very much, again, if a game is more fun, then they'll go play that game. That's more fun. So
maybe there's room for all three. It's really hard to say. We also have some Fortnite news. Dylan was so excited. So why don't you tell us about this, Dylan? He literally like lit up.
Well, yeah, because like I was just perusing the interwebs and I was like, Fortnite lets me merge my accounts now, which at this point isn't a super big deal for me, but it is another step towards all your stuff is in one place. So before, your PlayStation and PC would play nice and you cross progressed on those, and your Xbox was a separate account because they just couldn't get it to work with Xbox Live apparently. But now you can merge them all together. And
so it's 100% cross progression then.
Yep, everything is the same. So the stuff I did on my Xbox is now all connected to my PC and my PlayStation. So whichever system I log into, it's all merged, and you just have to go into your Epic account. Fortnite, there's a link somewhere. If you just Google merge Fortnite accounts, like it'll pop up. Easy as that.
I'll post in the show notes too.
And you'll just put in like your primary account, like on your PC, and then you'll say my Xbox One is this, and boop, they'll just, and literally it says up to 2 weeks. I literally got an email like within 2 hours, and it said it was done. So, and it was all
I tell you, I have always hated having to have like a separate account, like having an Xbox with an Xbox Live account, and then also having to have an EA account and a Uplay account and all that other crap. But if that allows me to do this kind of thing super easily, like it will all have been worthwhile. Like it never felt worthwhile, but
it's not necessary. Like this seems like the only reason you would have it is so you could have an account that exists in multiple places.
Yep.
So if
exactly
like that, then there's kind of no point to it. So
yep. Yeah, so that's super good news. And Dylan posted a really easy like wiki for how to do that. I'll post those in our show notes so you can see that. Speaking of crossplay and cross progression, the folks that make Paladins, which is a game that I think has not been like super high on a lot of people's radar, but has, definitely has a player base. The CEO from Hi-Rez came out and literally just called out Sony to stop playing favorites. That, obviously you've tested Fortnite, you've seen it work. You've tested Rocket League, you see it works. Just give it up. Like this isn't a beta anymore. You need to stop playing favorites and let everyone play on a level playing field. And interestingly, he actually had a bunch of like data to back up how important this is. So Paladins right now, if you're on an Xbox, you can cross play with the Switch. So Switch players on Paladins and Xbox players on Paladins can play together. And he says that the wait time in between matches has been reduced 30% by crossplay on those two platforms. And the level spread. So the essentially matching players with like players from a skill perspective is down 40%. So their internal definition of a bad match is down 80%. So their matches are matchmaking way faster, and like players are playing with like players in 80% more matches than was previously available. So, it's just, I don't think there's a single person. We've been talking about this a lot in the Discord lately. I don't think there's a single person who isn't just being contrarian that doesn't want cross-play and cross-progression. And it's great to see numbers that really, really back that up. Right, Dylan?
Yes. Sorry, I accidentally got on a weird inner page. So, but yes, it's exactly what I said earlier, because there is not a single argument to be made other than there are competitive environments in which, but to me, that is a separate thing when you're talking about competitive play. And that can be handled by its own. I think there's a very easy solution to that. If you're going to host competitive tournaments and things, sure, you lock people into playing it on the same system or whatever it is. But aside from that, there is no real argument against it, other than if it was a technical issue to work out. But we've apparently moved past that. Like we're smarter than that now. So
yeah. They just need to open it up, because the only person it doesn't benefit is PlayStation, and it hugely benefits every single person playing video games.
But the thing is, how much does it really detract from PlayStation? That's what I'm wondering. Like, are you really going to see that much of a difference if I only have to buy the game once?
Well, I mean, I think that I think the problem is it's anecdotal. I don't think anybody knows, and I don't know if there's any way you could actually test that, because, I mean, did I buy? I own 2 PlayStations. Did I buy them so that I could play games with other people? Yes, I did. If there wasn't crossplay, or if crossplay existed everywhere, would I have bought those?
You probably would have one.
Right. But maybe not, and I'm sure that that's the way they see it. I'm sure that the way they see it is there are people that own PlayStations for and the only reason is so they can play with friends, and so they would lose sales. And I'm sure that the other way they think about it, and maybe even the bigger way they think about it, is like you were saying today, some of the things you purchased for Fortnite you bought on your Xbox. And by giving them cross progression, it means you did not have to buy those things again on your PlayStation. So they're missing that 30% share of things there. They're missing the 30% share for the games you have to buy, So, I mean, are they going to lose money? Yeah, probably. Is that a reason for them not to do it? Absolutely not.
Yeah. Well, to me, it seems like it's the inevitable thing that you should probably just do it now and figure out how to make your money in a different way. The same way Fortnite figured out a way to not sell you a game. They let you download a game for free. Like mobile games do, right? And then they sell you on the back end, and you spend way more money than you would initially do on a $60 purchase. So it seems like there's going to be a different model in the future, and people are just going to be able to play their games together.
To me, like, not to get political, but this problem is what the free market is supposed to give us, is that you open up competition among things and the best one will rise to the top, as opposed to artificially propping things up via, regulations or whatever. And if you really think about it, them refusing crossplay is them artificially creating a monopoly.
Right. They're creating a demand on their console just because you can't play with your friend.
So, support crossplay and then prove that you have the best system. Right. You obviously think you do. And obviously, based on sales, a lot of other people think you do too. So why not? Yeah. Why not prove that?
And it's like, I'm happy with you having God of War only be on PlayStation. Yeah, like, that's fine. Absolutely. Like, I understand. Give people a reason to buy your system. But a game like Fortnite that you did not create, like, that is not your game. I feel like everyone should be able to play that with each other on their systems, if it is possible.
Yeah, and it obviously is. So we'll see. I mean, I think this is such a dead horse at this time.
Oh, it is.
Like, I'm just
it is a puddle,
and it's fine. I'm just gonna keep beating it until it works. Not that.
I'm glad that people like this are just saying, "Hey, stop it!" Like we're ready to do this. Like, just the more developers and games are just call them out and make it very known that that's where they're at. I think that's the best thing.
Yep, I agree. Sorry, let me ask you a question, Dylan. It comes out in 3 days. You're excited about Crackdown 3? I am too. I'm really bummed I will not be. I mean, I'm not real bummed because instead of playing Crackdown, I will be in Florida. But
I'll play it for you.
You play it for me. Interestingly enough, Crackdown 3 has a competitive multiplayer mode. Interestingly enough, at launch, you will not be able to play that with your friends.
Okay.
So a bunch of people playing kind of a beta notice that like, hey, there's no ability to invite friends so we can all play together. And Microsoft said, oh, yeah, that's just not done yet.
Yeah.
So it's not that you won't be able to play, the multiplayer, competitive multiplayer with your friends. It's just you won't be able to do it quite yet.
Which is fine.
So it's coming. It's fine. I mean, like, I guarantee you I'm not going to be playing it anyway.
Yeah.
But the good news is that the campaign, which you can play co-op, will allow that to play with friends, because it would be really weird to play co-op with just some other rando.
Yeah.
Although, man, that's an interesting idea. Like, especially if you could figure out a way to do co-op without having to do voice chat, like they did with Apex Legends. It'd be very interesting to play a game entirely co-op with just someone. They're like, hey, you two play together now. I don't know. That's kind of how Ashen plays. Actually, it does have multiplayer. You can allow other people to come into your game and play co-op with you, and it's kind of drop in, drop out. If they're not there, it actually gives you a NPC to do it for you, but there is no voice chat at all, so you just have to kind of figure it out. But I don't know, we'll see. I am very, very excited about Crackdown 3.
I'm super excited.
I hope it's good too, because it would suck to be super excited about it and then come back like a week later and go like, I'm really excited to try it. And everyone's like, nah, it sucks. Don't bother. Yeah. At least if you're home on the first day, you can play it and go like, oh yeah, that does suck.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be good though. I'm excited about it.
It's one of those games where it's as fun as you're going to make it. It's a playground style game. So I think it's going to be good. I feel it.
It is good I feel it too, man. I'm excited. I will have to, I'll leave my Xbox on so I can like do the remote install while I'm gone. So it'll be here when I get home, which won't matter because when I get home, Anthem will also be here. But it is what it is.
Just take an Xbox with you.
I always think about it. I always do. And I take my Switch with me, but I find I rarely play it. So the Disney World is just too big of a pull. All right. Up next, we talk about Telltale a lot. We've talked about playing The Walking Dead so far today. We covered Telltale a lot when they closed suddenly. Like, yesterday there was a Telltale Studios. Today there is not. But according to sources, a handful of Telltale developers have formed a new company called Ad Hoc Studio. And what makes that interesting, to me anyway, is what they plan to do with it. So what they want to start creating is interactive live action experiences. So that is not exactly what Telltale does. It's actually going to be using full motion video, or at least what they're experimenting with. Yeah, isn't that interesting? So when we played Hellblade, one of the things that kind of came out of Hellblade is that most of that game is 3D rendered, video game characters, like most video games are. But there's a handful of characters in that game that are actually full motion video people that are kind of projected into it. It really works because your character suffers from psychosis. So having characters that look kind of video-y and kind of translucent and whatever look more like visions than they probably would if they were modeled. Right. So it really works for that. And JoeColeslaw actually asked, are there other games that do that? And we kind of poked around it, and there are some, but there aren't a ton. And I thought it was really interesting when I read that these guys are going to try doing that. So, it's a super interesting idea. Full motion video, had its time in the, what am I going to say, late 90s, and it wasn't a good time. But, it's had a kind of a resurgence with things like Her Story and Quantum Break, that people are doing interesting things with video now. So it'll be cool to see if these folks can do anything interesting. What was their name again? Ad Hoc Studio. So we'll see. I mean, obviously years out, but keep an eye on them.
Yeah. Good for them. Good for those people.
Well, it's your opportunity, Dylan, as a video person to get into game development.
Yeah. It's always been an interesting idea to do kind of the movies as games thing. I think about that often.
Right. There's something there. I should really play Her Story. I've heard great things about it and I have not tried it, but I think I can see a lot of ways you could integrate video footage into a video game, either via kind of that found footage kind of trope, or I think Her Story was taped interviews that you watched, as I recall. But I think there could be something really there. It's fun to see those mediums kind of merging. So we'll see. All right. So we have talked about PlayStation a lot today because they can't get their crap together and give us crossplay. Interestingly, they are also shaking up internally. So the guy who was the boss of PlayStation Europe has now become the president of all of Sony Interactive. And then the guy who used to be that is now moving on to focusing on PlayStation at work. So the new boss of PlayStation is named Jim Ryan. He is replacing, John Codera. So they'll flip kind of around on April 1st. It's interesting. It's interesting how many kind of management shakeups there's been within Sony Interactive over the last, I'm going to say, year. I wish I was smart enough or involved with the business side of this enough to be able to pull names out. But I know that they've had a lot of kind of moving around. The same thing is, so actually it's right here. So Andrew House left at the end of 2017. John Codera took his job and now he's moving somewhere else. And Jim Ryan is taking over as head of the business. So there's been a lot of shakeup in that kind of Sony Interactive space, which is interesting just because they're doing so well. Usually you see folks leave like this when they're not doing great. So I guess we'll see. We'll see what direction they take Sony Interactive in, depending on Jim Ryan's view on crossplay and stuff. It may
hopefully
mean that we get
flavor will be what it needs to put beans on toast.
Right? Is that because he's European?
UK, I guess. On toast.
Have you ever had beans on toast? It sounds disgusting.
It's pretty okay.
Yeah, not my thing. Anyway, so that is that. I wish Adam was here because I think this is something he'd actually get excited about. He's the only person I know that is playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey to the very, very, very end. Right. I guess two things about Assassin's Creed Odyssey. If you were part of the Google streaming thing where you're supposed to get a copy of Assassin's Creed Odyssey, you have not received that yet, but I did. I got an email about it. I'm going to say Friday, saying that, hey, it's still coming. They're working on it. So you'll just need to be a little more patient. They're going to let you know kind of the status of that within a week or two. So it's still coming. If you don't have yours, don't panic. But when you do get it, there will actually be a New Game Plus mode for Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which I guess is cool. We actually have a question about it, so I'm not going to go too far into this, but I guess if you really like Assassin's Creed Odyssey and the first 40 hours of it weren't enough, then there's I just hit my microphone. there's more coming for you. So I guess that's great, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Any game that big, I don't think I desire any New Game Plus.
Yeah.
Needing to play a game again once I've played it when it's on such a large scale doesn't seem.
Yeah. We'll talk about it more in a minute. Do you consider yourself to be a Beat Saber expert, Dylan?
By no means, but it is quite fun. Maybe an enthusiast.
I've also seen you play Beat Saber. I would also not consider you to be a Beat Saber expert.
I don't like,
but you were very enthusiastic.
The segments.
Well, it's because you're 35 feet tall.
I feel like I have to duck more.
I don't like the ducking segments because I'm 41 and my knees are absolute garbage. Like it's like duck. I'm like,
I'll just get hit by the wall.
Nah,
it's only a couple points.
It's only a couple points. Anyway, apparently people that play Beat Saber at very, very, very high levels are so fast at it and so I'm just going to say maybe acrobatic. Is that the right word? I'm not even sure. That Steam VR actually had to adjust their code because they have sanity checks in it to say, could someone have actually moved their motion controls that quickly, or is it just a bug that we, essentially you set limits on how fast you think someone can move a controller, and anything past that it just ignores because there's just no way it could be a human. And apparently that means that some of the people that are playing Beat Saber are not humans because
you challenged them and they stepped up.
Yeah. They've surpassed that. So Valve actually had to issue a patch to Steam VR in order to account for superhuman, specifically Beat Saber people, which I think is absolutely crazy.
It is interesting. So, I guess it's interesting because you would have to be playing a song that was that fast.
Yeah,
right?
super fast. Well, or probably that fast, or on an expert level of switching.
But at some point, they literally the beats per measure would be like astronomical to need to move that fast. I'm curious what this actually looks like.
Yeah. They said that one of the checks they have relates to how fast we thought it was physically possible for someone to turn their wrist. It turns out that a properly motivated human being using a light enough controller could go faster, which is 3,600 degrees per second than we thought.
Wow.
So yeah, those Beat Saber people, man. Right. It's good stuff. I love that game. I wish Beat Saber, I wish VR was just easier to set up. Right. Like it's such a pain. I played Hellblade in VR over the weekend.
Scary.
It's nauseating. Holy hell. It's so gross. It's actually not super scary. I would say it's actually way more intense to play it with really good headphones on a 4K TV. Yeah. So anywho, more on that if you want to listen to me talk about it for 2 hours coming next Monday. I mean, I don't want to say I forced Dylan to that seems like I don't like hold him at gunpoint, but we listen to a lot of video game soundtracks at work. We've got a pretty cool setup in our office where we've got speakers in the ceiling and a PC, and we just load up Spotify and we play music through it. And not always, but quite a bit of the time we play video game soundtracks from Spotify, which is good what I listen to.
Music.
Yeah. Good stuff. It's good stuff to work to. And if you do that too, then you will be very happy to know that Capcom just dumped a literal ton of a lot of kind of classic Capcom games on Spotify, and you can find them by searching for Capcom Sound Team, which is who the artist is for this. The downside is they're all in Japanese. So if you don't speak Japanese, you're going to have to kind of sort through them. The good news is
there's pictures.
There's pictures. The album covers are all in English. So like just
You okay?
I think I'm dying. I'm sorry. Scrolling through the pictures, it looks like a lot of Mega Man, a lot of Street Fighter, a lot of Devil May Cry, a lot of stuff that I can't identify. Monster Hunter.
I bet if you click on it, it'll sound good though. That's
Super Street Fighter. Yeah, it's just. I mean, it's a ton of stuff. I mean, gosh, there's got to be. I don't even know how many albums here. Let's see. There's 6 across. 6, 42, 48, 54. 61 albums. Wow. Which is that's a lot of music. So yeah, no, if you're a fan of Capcom, and it looks like Capcom kind of through the ages, there's a bunch of Breath of Fire stuff on here. I think you should go listen to it. So F-Zero, no, is that right? 003. I don't know what that is, but tons and tons and tons of stuff on Spotify. And like, I guess if you're not I pay for a Spotify account, But even if you don't, you can listen to Spotify with ads, and it's not bad.
It's not the
so
worst,
it used to be. Yeah, I mean it's worth $10 a month. Is there a $5 plan? There used to be a $5 plan too.
$5 plan is if you're a student, I think.
Oh, right. Yeah. Man, if you're a student, like you can get Hulu and Spotify and Showtime for $5 a month. So
that's a good deal.
Anyway, it's a really good deal. I like it a lot. Anyway, go check out Spotify and Capcom. Hopefully, I wish more video game companies would dump all their stuff on Spotify. I love listening to those soundtracks. Shoot, I think that's all our news.
I think so.
Oh man, we got through it. One thing I forgot to do though is say, thanks to our lovely and wonderful patrons. You can, if you would like to be a patron of ours and let us continue doing this wacky podcast we do once a week. I mean, not that we're not gonna stop if they don't, right?
I don't think so.
Okay, good. But you can support us. That'd be cool. For little as $1 a month, you can get early access to our episodes. Bunch of other stuff. We'll send you some stickers, all sorts of some cool stuff. But if you pay us $10 a month, we will happily read your name off and possibly make jokes at your expense.
Yes,
maybe.
Always.
Anyway. First up, Alan Schulte, who played through Hellblade with us and was a ton of fun to talk to. That was the experience I was hoping to get when we started doing Byte Me DLC plays, is having folks come in and chat about the games and what they thought and share with us. So that was great to have him do that. Austin Palmer, Jack Irish, our good friend from Australia, Jacob Frank, who we need to get him back in here because I miss the dude, but he's been super busy. As always, Joe Cole Jr., he is always in the Discord and always a pleasure. Kevin Schold, who is also always in Discord and also is always a pleasure. And we play video games all the time, which is great. And Tom McDermott, and of course, Vinny Champa.
The Chompster.
Who is going to be up next, Dylan. Do it.
Yo, Vin. Isn't it his birthday? It was his birthday recently?
It was his birthday. He had what looked like an birthday.
What'd you get for your birthday? Did you get a cake for your birthday?
He said he got a green screen. So here he's going to get a green screen. So
Vinny, that's his new nickname.
Yep. So his live streams, which are already good, will be of an even higher quality because of a green screen. His birthday was over the weekend. I believe he is now legally able to drink, which is exciting. His birthday party, I believe he said that it was equal parts fun and embarrassing, which is pretty good. They had matching t-shirts, I'll tell you that much. Awesome. It was good. It was really good. So yes, Vinny.
I'll tell you what you can do with that green screen though. You can put it over your head and pretend you're a green ghost. Would be the best way to stream.
That's
the green
super
ghost.
good.
Everyone, it'd be funny because you'd be a green ghost. It'd be great.
I love that. That's a great idea. I wish I could get a green screen to work in my office. I can't. I just don't have the room. I don't know. I have one. It just doesn't work. But having a green screen is literally one of the most fun things I do. I do a lot of things with it that unfortunately are not related to gaming. Vinny wants to know, what is the game you are most looking forward to in 2019? Do you think 2019 can outshine the games of 2018? Mr. Dillon?
No. I'm trying to even think, like, for whatever reason, I don't remember a lot of games coming out other than some of the big ones that are about to come out. Honestly, Crackdown 3 is pretty exciting for me. It's pretty exciting. So
there's a lot of good games coming out this month or this year, though. You've got Anthem, you've got The Division 2, you've got that Sekiro Shadows Die, which I'm not super hyped about, but a lot of people are. Metro, Rage, Crackdown, the new Far Cry game. Kingdom Hearts already came out. There's a new Devil May Cry. There's Mortal Kombat Days Gone. I mean, there's a lot of stuff even just coming out in the next 3 months. So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff coming out in 2019. Yeah. What I'm most excited about is super hard to say because there's so many things I am excited about, to be honest. I was super hyped for Kingdom Hearts, and I still am super hyped for Kingdom Hearts, but I barely played it. So it's a big endeavor, and it's like I'm playing it with my wife, so it's hard. We've kind of like you, where we've been meaning to play more of it, but instead have been watching TV. Right. So, that's hard. probably right now the game I am most excited about is Anthem, just because I think it's the kind of game that I'm going to be able to dump just tons and tons and tons and tons of hours into. But I mean, that being said, like, I'm also really excited about like Rage. Rage looks like a game that I'm going to really enjoy. Or Rage 2. Oh my gosh, it's the Podcat. Dylan just brought his cat to play. It's great. I'm really excited about the new Far Cry game. Which unfortunately, like, I probably am not actually going to play until
like May.
Like, yeah, that's kind of the thing is like, if I've been at home right now, I probably would buy it on the 15th and
play it real quick.
Play it in between. Yeah, either play it real quick or play it in between Anthem. But as it stands, I probably won't. I'm super excited about Ori. Like, Ori was such a great game. I don't know. I mean, there's a ton of great games, and it's so hard to compare. I have a really hard time comparing years because it always seems like what's coming next is going to be the greatest thing. Yeah. So I guess we'll see. But man, there are a lot of games, especially in the next, I'm going to say like 3 or 4 months, that I am super, super hyped for. Like, I mean, if you just look at it, like, February is an amazing month. We've got a new Far Cry. We've got Anthem. We've got a new Trials game coming out. There's so much just coming out just in February. New Metro game coming out. I don't know. They all look great. They all look really, really good. And 2018 was a great year too. So I don't know. Anything that really piques you?
I think 2018 was pretty exceptional.
It was.
To try to do a quick comparison, probably not. But that doesn't mean that you're going to be at some sort of disadvantage in what games you have to play. I mean, this might be the best February ever. Who knows? Right? But
I mean, it's hard. 2018 had Red Dead, it had Spider-Man, it had God of War, it had Forza, which was like such a weird game for me to absolutely love. It had Far Cry, which I also loved. It had Sea of Thieves. I mean, there's some really. Yeah. I mean, I think it's hard to compare years because we're at a point in video gaming where every year is great. Every year is full of cool games that we want to play. Every month is full of cool games we want to play. Like, it's getting to the point where it's hard to choose what I want to play. Not because of, we were talking about this the other day in the Discord, actually, is like, money is not getting in the way of my gaming, really. It's the point where it's time. Like, I have, between new games I could buy and just the games I'm getting with Game Pass or with games with Gold or with PlayStation Plus, like, I could play games 3 or 4 hours a day and probably still not have enough time to play all the games I want to play. It's kind of crazy. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Next up. So this is actually kind of based on, I don't know if it had anything to do with Assassin's Creed Odyssey getting New Games Plus, but Joe-Coleslaw wants to know, what are your thoughts on completing games with an extra challenge? I think his was actually related to Kingdom Hearts has a New Game Plus as well. With either playing a game with New Game Plus or playing a game on a harder difficulty. There are some games where the achievements and trophies require you to beat on a harder level, and some folks just enjoy playing a game again on a harder difficulty to get, either that challenge or just to get more out of it. Is that something you do at all, Dylan? Do you do New Game Plus or playing on harder difficulty?
No, not really. Nope. I think there was a short period of time. I think in the heyday of couch co-op games, like when you were playing split screen Halo with your buddies and you wanted to beat it on Legendary, there was a time when that was the fun thing to do, but it generally involved having 3 other people or one other person with you that was doing it alongside you. For me to do something by myself like that, I'd rather just play something else. However, I think something you might be referring to, I saw him explaining that he was like, it was like some sort of constraints you put onto yourself while playing a game. But this kind of made me think of, I had some buddies playing I think it was Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time with the randomizer, like emulated on their PC. So like when you would open a chest, it would just give you a random item, which doesn't mean you're getting the right key to open the right door to move you on. So like you would have to play the game completely different and have such a good knowledge of what you need to do to move on in that game. So when you actually do find what you need, or things that you find can actually allow you to access other parts of the map, that sounds awful, and I don't want anything to do with it.
Yeah, that's the reality is like we were saying, when you think about tying off the last question, is I barely have enough time to play the new games I want to play, let alone playing another game again. I think the last time I probably did this was actually Diablo 2, which means it was like the late 90s. But I know I ran through Diablo 2 with my brother. I'm going to say 3 or 4 times, just progressively harder and harder and harder and harder. But I mean, it was also back in the day when I didn't have nearly as much money, and probably had more time than I do now. So, there just it wasn't a thing where I had 20 games that I could go play. It was, I had a game I could go play. So, I think probably the only modern game I've ever wanted to do that is Oxenfree, and it's just because I absolutely adore Oxenfree. I've played all the way through that game twice, and it does have a new game plus that I would be interested in checking out. I just haven't actually gotten around to doing it, but that game's, I mean, almost beatable in a sitting. So, I think you can beat Oxenfree in 4 hours, maybe. Mm-hmm. So it's not like going new game plus on that is like, a huge time commitment. So not really my thing. And I'm definitely not I've never thought like, man, maybe I should play this game again on a harder difficulty. Like, that's never occurred to me. Like, sometimes I'm like, man, I wish this game had an easier difficulty, but never harder. Never harder. All right. Final question in this Jeopardy round. From Eddie Spaghetti, I completely forgot to ask this last episode, and I felt bad. So Eddie asks, if you could change the voice of Alexa or Siri to any video game character, who would it be? Imagine Kratos dropping some bad words when you're asking about the weather in winter. What do you think, Dylan?
Part of me just says like Mario, because you're going to ask him anything, he's going to say, me, Mario. There's so many characters that just they say like one thing, so I imagine that's always the response.
That's funny. That's good. The funny thing is like the actual answer should probably be Cortana, but
that already exists.
It already exists. So my dog is outside my bedroom, or my office, just like barking up a storm. I think we're being invaded by zombies or something. So let's see, what would I change mine to?
Any vulgar character like Trevor from GTA.
Oh my gosh, that'd be funny.
Someone mentioned Officer Tenpenny from San Andreas, who is just Samuel L. Jackson. That'd be good. Any GTA character would honestly be phenomenal.
And I think the funny thing for me is I think I would be way more likely to try and change it to a very like proper English sounding, like if I want my mechanical servant to be a mechanical servant, like I think it'd be really great to have it be, a very proper British, person. But I'm trying to think of what game that could be. And I can't really think of the right game for that. So like movies pop up very, very readily, but I can't think of the right game. So
something I do want is like, I want like an M-rated navigation app too. Like so if I miss like cusses or something like that.
Waze every once in a while will have like sponsored ones. And I had Mr. T for a while, which is pretty funny. I very rarely have the directions on, so it doesn't really matter very much. But for a little while, it was like, I pity the fool who doesn't take a left ahead. Yeah. And that was pretty great.
I think it's pretty great, but I've also thought about this. I'm like, how long is it great? Like,
it's
I can't
15 minutes
that I actually want this for very long.
No. Nope, you don't. You do not. So
from Portal, what's the
Wesley or GLaDOS?
One of any of those robots would also be great.
Wesley would be perfect. I think it's Stephen Merchant that does that voice. He's actually the exact person I want. He's got that kind of that nice British accent. He's kind of yeah.
That's it good. Right there.
So question, do you have your, I don't think you can do it with Alexa, but with Siri, do you have yours just set to the default Siri?
I do.
Yeah. My wife actually has her set to like a British accent, which is really fun in the car. Like, especially because they can't pronounce a lot of the roads around here and stuff, which is great. So yeah, I don't know. She just enjoys it, and I think it's kind of fun, but apparently not so fun that I think to change mine.
I think I just haven't changed mine because I don't care enough. I don't use it that frequently that I care. I think.
Yep, I hear you. All right. Finally, cheap free games. There is exactly one, and it's not actually cheap. Yeah, it's not cheap or free yet. But starting on February 21st. So it's a couple days from now. Actually, this is like you guys could talk about this next time too, because it'll actually be on the release of our next podcast. My dog is murdering something. I don't know what it is. You'll be able to February 21st through March 7th on the Epic Store, you will be able to pick up Thimbleweed Park for free. And Thimbleweed Park is the best adventure game made in the last, I don't know, 10 years probably. It is incredibly fun, and I loved it very, 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 very much. So starting on February 21st, everybody with a PC should go download that for free from the Epic Store.
I'm excited.
All right, do it. Do it now. There's also a new Humble Bundle out, but I don't remember what it was. I think it was games made with Game Maker. So go check that out. If you want to hook us up with a little bit of something, you can go to bytemepodcast.com/humble and get it. That'll make everybody happy. Do it. Dylan, I got to go study for a project management test.
I'm going to go watch TV.
Yours is better than mine.
Hopefully we can leave the house tomorrow.
We're gonna get to work tomorrow, right?
I'm gonna try.
I'm not gonna
rush out of the house in the morning.
No. I was planning on rolling into the office about 10 and leaving about 4. That
10.
was
10-4. 10-4, good.
10-4, good buddy. Good. You can find everything about us at bytemepodcast.com. You should go look at it because I got bored the other day and I made it a little bit better. Nothing stupendous, but it is better than it was. So go to bytemepodcast.com. You can follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/bytemepodcast, Twitter at twitter.com/bytemepodcast. If you go to bytemepodcast.com, it's very easy for you to get on our Discord at bytemepodcast.com/discord. And there's actually been a couple new people hanging out. It's been very nice. I love having new people. So come hang out with us there. And I think that's everything, right?
That's it.
Do it, Dylan.
Bite me.
So good.